Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Well, happy Wednesday, March the 5th, here across the great city of Philadelphia in the Delaware Valley. This is the Anthony Gargano Show. We're presented by TrueMark. TrueMark Financial Credit Union, TrueMark.com/PHLY for the credit union difference. All right. Big news today, obviously. We react to Saquon getting paid. Saquon Barkley, the highest paid running back in the history of the NFL, and well-deserved. And there's a lot of talk about, well, it's a lot of money, and he's an aging player. And here's the beauty of this whole thing. One, it helps with cap relief now. And what we know about how he handles the cap is you push it down the line. You also are able to pay and reward a player for a historic season. Let's face it, the Eagles win the Super Bowl because Saquon Barkley. I mean, if there's three reasons, he's probably number one, right? We look at that offense and the year he had and how much easier it is. Like when Steve Spagnuolo, who's going to be on the show with us coming up shortly. In fact, I'm going to sit down with him tomorrow afternoon to go over the Super Bowl. One of the things is, like, he's got to figure out a way to take Saquon out. Like, they all tried to do it, and they all failed, right? Like, they all tried to take Saquon, and Spags actually had some success in doing so. But in doing that, you create mismatches all down the field, right? Like, we saw Jalen's legs, and we saw Jalen to AJ, and Goddard had a game here, and Devontae had a game there. And, Saquon was the linchpin of this offense. And is there any better face of the franchise than Saquon? Gentleman, right? Everything you want in an athlete, takes care of himself. He's just a prince. He is a prince in every way. And he's elite, and he's sleek. And it's just a gift to have a guy like Barkley. And, I don't know, at some point, I guess, it happens to everybody. Running backs, will go hit a wall. I don't think it's going to happen in the next year or two. I think the way he looks, the way he takes care of himself, the way the Eagles' offensive line is, I think it's great. And I also think one of the aspects of the contract is a signal to the rest of the players in the NFL. The Eagles are a destination city. Like, we talk about being a destination where players want to go, which is so important, right? If you're chasing titles, you got to be a destination place, a destination franchise. And, in the NFL, it's not so much, hey, South Beach, right? Hey, I'm going to go and play in L.A., right? It's a little different than the NBA in this sense. NFL players want to go to good franchises that will take care of them, both financially and as a person. And the beauty of what the Eagles have built, established, is that they are an elite, probably the best franchise in all of the NFL. And that, at this point in time, that is the most valuable thing, because you got a free agent that goes, you know what, I might do a discount because I want to go win. I want to go to Philadelphia. And players do have a degree of power, not like the NBA, but they have a degree of power. And then obviously free agents are free agents. But even beyond like, hey, I want to get traded, or I'm a veteran and I need to go sign somewhere, you've created this atmosphere, right? You've created this incredible franchise kind of beat. And, people go, I'm attracted. I want to go play for the Eagles. The Eagles have become truly America's team, which rightly so, saying that we're the Eagle. Right? So rightly so, the Eagles should be America's team. And right now in the NFL, they're the darlings. We now have a crowded bandwagon fan base. Our fan base has exploded. Numbers that are just astronomical. Throughout the globe, it's Eagles. And it's so freaking cool. And it also has to do with these like contracts. The way Howie does his business, it's truly amazing, because this was a great move. I mean, it was a move that was expected, but also a move for how we treat players, how we reward seasons, and players that that you can bet on, right, in the future. And Saquon Barkley is a player that you can bet on in the future. What a football player. What a team, right? Like, it's all roses. It's all Rosemans. Good morning, VG.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm delightful, happy.
You took a little Flyers last night.
Went down to the barn.
Yeah. Down to the barn.
Yeah, it's good.
It's one of those games.
Wasn't the best game.
Nah.
Urson, I was so close. I put a parlay together, and I was talking to my buddy. He's like, Urson have 23.5 saves tonight. I was like, nah. He had one. One on 4 shots.
It was a blow-up game. It's a shame. I mean, you guys are going to have that. He was so good for a long stretch, right?
Yeah.
Like, he played really well. Post All-Star, post Four Nations. You're gonna have that. I mean, that's what it is. And actually, Fedorov came in and played pretty decent.
Played all right. Yeah.
Right?
Gave up a clunker. But
But other than that, I mean, he actually made a couple good saves, too.
For sure.
A couple point-blank stuff. Again, that's where there was a couple defensive liabilities, a couple breakdowns. We saw that.
Yeah.
But you did get to see
I got
Michkov
to
still
see
made.
Michkov in person.
Right? He still made a couple eye-popping plays.
Yes, he did. I got to see, I love the Lindros love. I'm a Lindros guy. We saw more Lindros jerseys down there than anyone else's jerseys.
Yeah, because that was the last relevant player. All due respect to Giroux, really, it was, he was the last relevant player. What's the matter? Why are you looking?
I don't know. He's giving
the black Lindros jersey.
Like
one of my
sexy
favorites.
eyes over there or something. I was like, what's
I was giving you a thumbs up, like Lindros. Like, yeah. I love that jersey.
I mean, listen,
That
I
sweater.
love 88, but why are we talking 88 today?
No, just because I just saw. Well, when you go to a Flyers game, what I love about the Flyers and their fans.
Nostalgia?
The jerseys you see are pretty amazing. Like, you're just blown away. People hang on to these jerseys. I saw a Steve Mason jersey last night.
Wow. Mason.
Yes.
The goalie. Steve Mason.
I had to get a refresh. I was like, who is Mason? 35.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
Nah. So they're all down there. I was disappointed I didn't see an Ilka Salo jersey, but there's a lot of old jerseys floating around down there. You love them.
Was there a Dave Brown jersey?
No Dave Brown.
But
I saw
did you have that in your bingo card?
I saw a Riley Cote jersey down there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love, listen, I'm looking forward to the fact that you now get to put some modern jerseys back in the building.
Yeah, there's a good amount of Michkovs down there too.
I mean,
he's probably
that
second.
Kid,
he's second after Lindros was Michkov.
Yeah, I mean, that kid, that's going to explode. I mean, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
I mean, we were watching it, but like, I watched it. It's funny. I watched that game. Like, I'm looking forward to it. I look forward to their games. It's entirely strange in that. I mean, listen, I've always watched them. They'll be on, but I'm really just looking forward to them. And I know that they're where they are, and they're not going to probably make the playoffs, and it is what it is. But I love following this team. I love watching that kid play hockey.
watching him like
I just can't take
in person. He's just always like hovering. He's got this look on him where he's
He's
skating,
a
he's
hoverer,
always thinking, and
Yes.
the whole time he's out there.
Yes.
And sometimes he makes
Yes.
passes, and it looks like he catches guys off guard. Like they're not expecting the puck to get to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
He had a shot last night. I don't know how it didn't go in, where he tries to back it off the goalie.
Yes.
Off a Wolf.
Yeah.
He tried to back it off a Wolf, and it just got him. And I don't know how it didn't go in. It kind of just trickled by the goal line.
Yeah, he's
and
always
goal mouth.
scheming, it looks like. He's out there
he's
thinking.
a schemer. I love it.
Yeah.
You're right, and it's that piece that I just can't. I love it. I love watching greatness.
Yeah,
it's what I love about sports. We talk about Barkley today, and Barkley getting the big contract, well deserved, is greatness. We saw unmitigated greatness. The best running back, one of the greatest running back seasons ever,
and the greatest human. It seems like. So if anyone should get paid, pay him. It's a win. You covered it, man. Win. You get the cap space. All the agents are taking notice around the league, and it's a big deal with the agents. They're extending people early, year early, 2 years early, a year after they sign them, they extend them. I mean, that goes a long way with the agents and free agency.
Well, I mean, again, it's about building a culture. It's about building, a vibe. They are the darlings of the NFL. Like, everybody wants to play for the Eagles.
Keep freeing up that space, Howie.
There's the whale out there. You're going to get Zach Morton in the fold. Yeah, I know you keep talking about Garrett. I don't think it's happening.
If I got to choose between the two and it's an $8 million difference, or
Listen, I just don't see it, bro.
I know. But he's opening up more and more space. It's another, was it 6 million, 6.8 with the Saquon?
Yeah. I mean, listen, I hope it happens. I would love to see the two of them on the line. Obviously, I'm talking about Jalen Garrett and Jalen Carter on the same line would be a dream. I love defense.
As Baldy said, it would be a cheat code.
Yeah,
unfair.
I love defense.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons why this season was probably one of the most enjoyable seasons I've ever had as an Eagle fan.
Yeah,
all these years, it was the most enjoyable, fun season ever. Like there was a point.
You started out a little rocky, but that's part of the fun.
Yeah, well,
you gotta have some ups and downs, some bumps on the road.
By October, you forgot about it.
Yeah,
by October, you're into it. And mid-October, you're starting to roll, and they're going into Cincinnati, and they're making sure that Joe Burrow can't hurt them. I mean, I got to tell you, I think back to it. There was an early Andy season, a couple of Andy seasons that I loved. 04, 02, up. They all had bad endings. The Reggie White teams, bad ending, right? Like this one had the perfect happy ending. Like, are you kidding me? We actually saw a Hollywood movie with a happy ending.
It was the happiest of happy endings, the way they decimated that Kansas City team. You couldn't even write it any better than that.
I know. I mean,
you couldn't even fathom that it would happen like that.
No. I just go back to it and go, all these years of watching Eagle football and, just falling in love with them. And since you're a little boy and you watch every season, and they're now they're America's team, dude. They're elite of all elites.
They are the elite of elites. They ask you a Bond. I mean, I like him and I want him back, but do you think in their head there's a moment where they're like, he was a guy and like we can make another guy another Bond? No. I think they realize that he's very important. Yeah. He's not just another guy. I mean, he was till he got here.
Yeah, but here in this scheme with Vic Fangio,
right?
He was all over the field.
He had an amazing.
All of a sudden, you're looking around, going, "Well, anybody can do that."
I'm just saying.
Did anybody do it last year? No.
Well, Fangio wasn't here last year. Can Fangio just pluck another guy out?
Man, no, dude. I think that's really short-sighted and really unfair to Bourne.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's just a question.
Yeah,
there's no stupid questions. I'm allowed to ask a question.
No, you are. I'm not saying it, but a little disrespect in that question.
He had an amazing year.
Can you just get another guy? Is he just a guy? That's a kind of disrespectful question.
I mean, is he flourishing because of Fangio's tutelage?
Yeah, I'm sure he is. Yeah, but you have to have the player with the skill set, the player ready to go, and then also have the grizzled coach, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but I think when we had Zach on, it sounds like in his mind there's a point. 13 mil, yeah. I guess like 16, 18 mil.
It's funny how you took that out of Zach's.
He's not going to be the highest paid linebacker, probably.
What I took was, he's getting done because he also knows that this is the best place for him.
Right. Yeah,
I know you're trying. I know you're trying not
to free up some cap room,
because
man.
you want
Miles
to sign Garrett.
Yeah.
I get it. Like I want Garrett too, but I just don't think it's in the cards. I really don't. They have a lot to do, a lot to pay, and I know the cap went up. I know he's a master at it. Because you're going to have to extend them.
Yeah, you're going to have to do 3-year, $100 million probably at least.
Yeah, I don't know where that money's coming from. You're paying a quarterback a lot of money. I mean, you got a lot of guys locked up. AJ, Devontae. Yeah. And soon you're going to have to, like, Jalen Carter's going to be the one where you're going to open up the vault.
Yes. You got to make sure he's covered.
You know?
And you got 3 years before you got to worry about the secondary.
Yes. Yeah. Like, probably 2. You'll probably sign them to
Coop's got a 4-year deal.
But you'll probably
got a 5-year deal.
Extend those guys.
Yeah.
Early. Lock them up.
Yeah. I just don't know the power of Vic. Can Vic find another special teamer and turn him into all pro? I don't know. He's 100% doing it. I don't know.
Yeah, 1 for 1.
Yeah, man.
I hear you, buddy. I think this move was to free up and get Bond locked in. Now, the other one that's going to be interesting is Becton, because I do feel like he wants to be back here.
I do too, and I want him back here. But that again, can Stoutland pretty much turn anyone into an above-average offensive lineman? It feels like he does.
Yeah, but you also need the skill set. Like Becton gave you a skill set on the right side of the line. How often did we talk about? I talked about it ad nauseum. Right
you
from
like his size,
right from training camp, right? Having that size on the right side of the line. I mean, one of the reasons why Saquon he had all those carries but wasn't beat up was he wasn't taking a beating. Like that old line with Lane and Becton. I mean, that's one of the greatest lines
dominance.
Ever. Yes. I mean, physical dominance.
Yeah.
Listen, you can't be ready to go flush everything out, man. There's a formula.
I'm just taking what they said.
You're
going to be disappointed. There's going to be some people who aren't here.
Yeah,
it's not going to be a fancy, flashy.
I get it. Sweat.
I'm just saying, if I got guys.
I think Becton is right now, if I had to guess, I would lean kind of him 50-50, maybe a little against it. Coming back.
12 mil?
Close.
10, 12 mil?
I just don't. It's all about him and whether or not, what other offers he's going to get.
Right.
And does he want to jump at something? Listen, if you get a big payday, you got to take it. So,
and they got Steen hanging out.
Yeah. No. That's the beauty of how you build it.
Yeah.
Now, I think draft-wise, that's why you're going to draft D-line. Mm-hmm. You're going to still go back to O-line. I think you're going to go get a running back.
Yeah. Well, you think Kenny G's out?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah. He's fine.
I mean, I listen, he played well. He did. He actually exceeded. I was never a big Gainwell guy because I thought there was nothing he does exceptional. Right? He's not overly big. He's not overly fast. He's an okay good runner, not a elite,
Yep.
So, but he played well. Like he spelled Barkley and he caught the ball. He's a good blocker.
Yeah. But I think you could draft someone.
Yeah, I'm with you. I can kind of see that. All right, lots to do today. So our buddy Pat McClune from the editor's desk every Wednesday, he's in Clearwater today. So he's enjoying himself, having some pints. Well-deserved.
Yeah. I hope he has lots of pints.
Yeah, he's the best. We love him. So filling in for him, and really it's an excuse to have him on the show, because it's our old friend Bob Cooney.
Love Cooney.
Yeah. Right? Bobby's the best.
Talk some Big 5 basketball.
Yeah. No, Bobby's the best. I love him. We're big fans of Bob
He's
Cooney.
eternally in sweatpants.
Yes.
He's like a gym rat.
In fact, I wore my sweats today for Bob.
Oh, nice. I wish I would have.
I
wish I would have threw him sweats.
For Bob, because I kind of like him too, to be honest. I'm a sweats guy all day
I
long.
realize like professional athletes have two modes: sweatpants and dressed up.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no casual in between with them. Very rarely in jeans hanging out. Anytime you see them, they come to the Palestra. Wherever they go, they're in sweatpants.
Yeah, well, sweats. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like to say sweatpants.
Why?
I like sweats.
That's a problem? Sweatpants?
Yeah, I don't like sweatpants. I say
Sweatpants
sweats.
is a problem?
It's a little weird, sweatpants.
Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't it sound
Well, I don't
awkward?
say
The sweats
sweatpants.
The
sound
way
like
it says it,
sweatpants.
it's because
You
you
wear
never
sweatpants.
wear sweatpants.
I do.
You're Eddie Vedder.
Why wear joggers?
Joggers.
joggers.
I can
Sweat-
say joggers.
Joggers are
That's-
sweats. Come
It's
on.
sweats, dude. Like
Yeah.
that's a modern day.
It's a tight sweat.
joggers.
How do I know if you're talking about a hoodie or
like
pants?
the bro,
With sweats. I'm
the
in
bro
sweats.
wearing his Lululemons.
Yeah, the Lululemon
Come on,
pants.
man. Just give me my Under Armour sweats, my Nike sweats. I'm
Yeah.
good.
But I don't know if you're wearing a hoodie or pants when you say I got my sweats on.
It doesn't matter. It could be. It's interchangeable. It could be the bottoms or the tops or both.
We're gonna have to talk to the sweat king.
Sweats is the bottom, and then if it's a suit
Hoodie.
or it's a
Let
sweatsuit.
me write this down. Make sure I
Sweatsuit.
don't
It's
screw this
hoodie
up.
and sweats.
Pants are-
Right,
yes,
or
yes.
sweatsuit.
Or
Yeah, no
sweatsuit. Yeah.
sweatpants. There's no sweatpants
I like
anymore.
saying. I don't like saying sweatpants.
Sweatpants.
It sounds like
Sweatpants.
Costanza.
Sounds like
Sweatpants.
corny.
I got sweatpants on.
Yeah.
I just don't like it. And joggers. What the joggers?
Yeah,
That's
well,
just
I
to
mean, you
fit
wouldn't know
me out.
joggers. They're a little more fashionable than the sweats.
Nah,
So, yeah. So, I mean,
Patrick got a tuxedo, man.
yeah, they're sweats.
They're sweatsuit.
Yeah, they wear like the Rocky sweats. The joggers are a little more fashionable, a little
No
more
joggers. Get
tailored,
the hell outta here
a
with
little
the
more
joggers.
slim fitting.
Get out with the joggers.
For us,
Slim fit.
for us slimmer guys, we
Yeah.
wear the joggers. They're a little tapered, a little
You
slimmer.
don't wear any sweats. He's like, what are you?
You don't got baggage.
He never look at him. Like can you see him ever in
I
like,
wear sweatpants.
I don't ever see him.
Like once a week,
I
I wear
don't ever
sweatpants.
see him. Like I can't imagine VG Eddie Vedder.
Yeah, he's not a sweats guy.
Nah.
He's
a
a
sweatpant
flannel.
guy.
He's
I'm
a
a
flannel
sweatpant
guy.
No. You even say it wrong.
Great flannel
you even
weather.
you even say it wrong.
Sweatpants. Hey, give me my pants.
Uh,
My sweatpants.
We'll talk to Todd Zolecki from Clearwater. And then Mike Sielski talking about his book. We always talk to Mike every week. And we'll discuss his book, Dunk.
About the dunk.
Right? Gotta love it. So lots
Dunk's coming back. The dunk's coming back this year, I think.
Hopefully basketball is
They're tired of this
that
no-name
game
development
last
guy.
night was horrendous. Just
The
flies
Sixers
were
cover?
over.
The Sixers cover?
No, they got smashed. It was actually tied, and what's his name hit a three, like a three-quarter court three. Mike Conley, right, to put them up by 3, and then the Wolves rolled in the fourth quarter.
Nice.
Yeah, so they
Perfect.
won by like
Grimes had a good first half. Again, this kid. Stop it, Grimes.
Nah,
Stop.
because he doesn't play winning basketball. It's like he's a
What are you saying?
he just dominates the ball.
Like
dominates
he's
the
on
ball.
like he's on an AAU showcase.
Oh God, he just you're supposed to play. You're supposed to have the ball in his hands and play one, right? Like I'm not saying you can't be a combo, but my God, I think he lucked into 2 assists.
I was just gonna say, how many assists did he have? Like
2. My God, my man. Talk about like trying to be AI. Wow. All right. We got lots to get to today, as always. Let's talk about some of our friends. Golden Nugget Jewelers. That's where Philly gets engaged. We tell you about your own all the time, and Golden Nugget Jewelers, right on 8th and Chestnut, in the heart of Jewelers Row in Center City. You want to have a relationship, you better have a jeweler. There's just prerequisites in life that you need. You need somebody that's a house guy that knows his way around the house, right? Like can fix things. Got to have a hookup. You need hookups throughout life. It's just too much. So the point of the circle of human beings, when you have a great circle, everybody contributes something, right? Like, some people know about certain things, who can do this, who can do that. You need a jeweler. And that's where your own comes into play. Golden Nugget Jewelers, it's where Philly gets engaged. And if you're looking, you found that special somebody, he's got a great selection of certified diamonds. He has the settings and the designers for the settings like Tacori, Viraggio, and I'll put them together for an engagement ring that will just knock her socks off. All right? You got to check out Golden Nugget Jewelers, goldennuggetjewelers.com. It's where Philly gets engaged.
Let's talk about some savings. Ersan had a little problem doing some savings last night, but if you want to get your savings on the right track, TrueMark Financial Credit Union's got you covered. It's almost spring, and that means it's time to spring into some savings. So if you got financial goals, whether it's buying a house, taking a dream vacation, or building up your emergency fund, which is always good to have, what do they say you need to have? 3 months salary? Well, TrueMark Financial Credit Union's got the perfect savings account for you. TrueMark Financial offers high-rate certificates and money market accounts to help your money grow faster and work harder for you. So visit TrueMark.com for rates and learn more. TrueMark Financial, federally insured by the NCUA, equal opportunity lender. Rates are subject to change.
There you go, baby. Ersan, not a lot of savings, right?
Brain not coming up because Auburn got smoked last night. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's getting an epidural.
Whoa, has he got back pain?
I don't know.
Oof.
Yeah,
I thought that was something they do.
I could use one of those.
What is an epidural?
Yeah.
It's like
it's
a back
shot.
pain. Yeah, it's for your spine.
They give it when you're giving birth, right? Epidurals?
Epidurals you get for birth. Yeah, it's a pain
You're
reliever.
how you doing?
Oh, horrible pain.
You got the neck.
I need Rothman bad.
Yeah. We got your hook up at Rothman. Don't worry about it. Now joining us, dear friend of the show, love this man, a great
sweatpant guy.
A great Philadelphia treasure, our buddy, Bob Cooney. Bobby!
What's up?
Cooney?
Bobby, tell VG, like, it's sweats. He says sweatpants. It's so off-putting.
Yeah, I have a feeling VG, the first thing he puts on in the morning is it underpants? I don't know, VG.
Yes, my boxer underpants. Yes.
Okay.
Do you say underpants?
No, I say underpants.
I don't know. It sounds like you would. Like if you say sweatpants, underpants.
Come on. You guys are all crazy.
It's funny you bring up the sweats today. I'm actually talking to you from a place where I'm doing some work, and it's a country club. I am not allowed to wear sweats at the country club. So my attire has changed now. I have to go with the collared shirt. I have to wear the nice pants.
Business casual.
What are you doing? You get khakis?
What's it? Yeah.
You got the khakis?
Yeah, some khakis. Yeah, you might throw in some jeans once in a while, some golf pants,
Yeah.
No Lululemons. I don't go Jamie Lynch. I ain't no Lululemon guy. I can't afford that.
I hear they're mighty comfortable. Little stretch to them.
This is my workplace, Ant. Can you see?
Oh, he's at the bar.
Look at that, buddy. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Are we allowed to plug the course?
Here it is. Merchantville Country Club.
Nice.
Over here in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Great place. Yeah, great place.
Love
it.
Merchantville's a good area. They got like homes with like Victorian homes with some nice porches over there in Merchantville.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, it's beautiful. An old little town. It's great.
It is a great town. In fact, we were there. I've been there all around. I'm trying to remember which school. What's the Catholic grade school that we play there? Because
wow.
St.
Pete's Merchantville. I'm sorry, St. Pete's Merchantville.
St. Peter's, right?
That's when I got married.
You got married there?
Sure did.
Wow, we just had a game there. I was just there like 3 weeks ago. We had a game there.
It's funny. You played against one of my buddy's kids a couple of weeks ago, and he texted me right at the end of the game. If he had texted me before, I was going to run over and see. You were at St. Joan of Arc, I believe.
Yes.
And you had the girl referee, and he took a picture of you with the girl referee.
Yes, she's amazing. Yeah, she's a great ref.
Yeah, she is. Yeah,
she's a great ref. All right, listen, it's fortuitous that we have you today because Pat is usually in this spot every Wednesday from the editor's desk. So you're going to be your dear friend Pat McClune's. You were on the editor's desk back in the day, right? You spent some time on the desk?
Oh, yeah. We all did, right?
before you did Sixers, you were on the desk.
Yeah, we all jumped in the desk. Everybody did some editing over at the Daily News. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you guys had such a great way about it. I never was in the office at the Inquirer. I was at the Inquirer. I don't think I was in the office maybe twice.
That's good for you. Good for you. Yeah, once I was on the Sixers beat, I was never in the office either, except to do expenses, right, Ant? We just had to go in and do our expenses.
Exactly. I come in with all these cab receipts and all this hotel. I used to hate it. Yeah, I'm not good at that stuff, as you know. All right. So here we go. We're going to do our topics, our 5 topics with Bobby C. from the editor's desk. Let's start with the news of the day. Saquon getting paid. There it is. That's very good. I like that, Andrew.
That is good. I absolutely love it, Ann. It's so Howie Roseman, what makes him great? We can list all the things that he did, right? All the signings, the trades, whatever. But this is kind of unorthodox, right? You don't expect to pay a running back like this, especially right after the season when he's under contract. So it's like he just keeps things going his way. Absolutely love it. You're going to save some money on the cap hit, it looks like. So Howie doing Howie things in a little bit of a different way. Perfect. Love it, love it, love it.
And while we have you, I mean, Saquon, the greatest season ever by an Eagle. Not just a running back, by an Eagle.
Yeah, absolutely. At least during our lifetime, right? No question about it.
I mean, I can't think of any other Eagles that's had a season like that.
No, Terrell Owens had 17 touchdowns in his shortened season, right?
Right.
Was it 17 or 20?
10, 11 games, whoever it was before he got hurt.
And then he comes back still on a broken leg and goes crazy in the Super Bowl. But yeah, I agree with you on that, Ian. I'll give him the greatest.
Van Buren didn't have a good season like this?
What are you in the Van Buren gang?
I'm like taking up for McClune. Passing out here. I'm talking about Steve Van Buren, man.
You're in the Van Buren gang.
Well, that's McClune's lifetime. That's not our lifetime. McClune's older than us.
Exactly. Yeah, Van Buren. He's such a ball breaker. All right.
I hear good things about
He's
that guy.
on something today.
He is. He's just
I told you I need food today. My stomach's soft.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the fighting Phillies. All right? Because Todd Zolecki is going to join us coming up at 10. The fighting Phillies, the fever. All right? Oh, look at that. That's a great picture. All right? Look at that. Do we have the Phillies fever priced with a thermometer? I love it, man. All you got to do is put Phillies fever in the background. That's a great job, dude, Andrew. Do we still have the fever? I got it, but I'm not sensing there's any kind of fever going on.
Good. Let the people that don't want to have the fever, let them be well. You and I have the fever. We'll do the sickness in bed. We love the Phillies so much. I do. Look, Anthony, it bothers me when people talk about, should you get rid of Rob Thompson? If he doesn't win it this year, he's got to be on the hot. My God, the guy's come in and all he's done is won. Okay, yeah, you haven't gotten the championship, but you're right there. And, playoff dysfunction, however you want to label it, okay, that has happened. They've gotten not hot at the right time. But my God, they're right there. And this pitching staff, Luzardo, I love the addition of him.
Yeah.
You're going to move Schwarber. We could have that debate, back and forth 1,000 times, which we've done already. But they're going to move him probably in the order because you have to do something different now. So, yeah, hitting him
and by the way, to your point, you need to me, one of the linchpins of this season is going to be Turner. Like, you got to get Turner going. And
right.
I always thought that you got Turner to hit leadoff because that's what he did. He swipes bags. He's got pop. It's not like he doesn't have any pop, right? He's got pop. He sprays the ball. You got to get him back to where, I'm not saying he's got to be MVP again, but he's got to be in that realm.
Yeah, I think he was getting there last year, and then the injury happened, and then he came back, and he's not running anymore. I think that's a big hindrance to his game. I think you hit it on the head, Ant. He leads off, you get on base, he steals bases. He's still a really good base stealer, although he couldn't show it last year because of the injury. I like him leading off. I'm excited to see Schwarber hitting fourth. You throw maybe Bone third. It's still a really, really good lineup. And, this pitching staff, I've heard it labeled nationally, locally. Maybe it's the best in the league. Maybe it's right up there with the Dodgers. Whatever, it's a top three, it appears. Yeah, how can you not be excited? How can you not have Phillies fever?
But do you sense it?
I see all over Twitter. People are just like, they're running back the same stuff that came up short the last 2 years. But they are kind of in the lineup, but the pitching looks insane. Luzardo, if he's healthy, he's like a 2 or 3.
I worry. And you're right. I sense the same thing. I talk about it. I see people are going, yeah, like they're just not into it. And
because everybody looks too far into the future, right?
Yes.
I'll never forget, like when, who was it? Zion Williamson comes into the league and somebody emails me and says, do you think he's going to be a Hall of Famer? I said, the guy hasn't even played 20 games. Why do we look to the future so much? So everybody's looking to playoffs, right? Everybody's going right to October right now. No, you can't do that. And it hurts that they were the best team in baseball for much of the regular season last year. But so what? It's fun to watch the best team in baseball. It's fun to watch one of the best teams in baseball. When playoffs come, they'll come and we'll see what happens then. But don't leap over this season, which could be special, just to get to the playoffs.
I'm so with you. It's my biggest pet peeve, all right, about sports fans, is that I'll never forget when the Eagles in 2002 go to the Super Bowl, right? Or go to the NFC Championship game, lose to Tampa. It was, all right, well, let's get to the Super Bowl. Let's get to January. And, you want to fast forward the whole season.
Right.
You can't fast forward the whole season. Go enjoy it. Enjoy the season. There's something about, what are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at, I was remembering that song, Phillies Fever. And I forgot all the players sang it.
Oh, yeah,
I was looking to get
Cash.
it. I was just laughing. Oh, that just made me laugh.
But you should never wish away seasons.
No.
Unless it's the Sixers. Which we'll get to in a minute. But you get my point.
I'm right on board with you.
Enjoy, go down to the yard and enjoy baseball, man.
And they will. People will go, and will they be sitting on their hands a little bit because it's not September, October, November, maybe. But yeah, you're going to miss something special. You might, you put Kyle Schwarber at the 4 spot, maybe he goes for 45 and 120. That batting average, he improved by almost 30 points last year. There's a lot of special things to look for. Enjoy it. Yeah, I agree with you, Ann.
If they start out slow, though, the city's going to be it's a slow March and April. The city's going to be out.
No, I could see it. I could totally see it. And that's my biggest fear.
Yeah.
My biggest fear is that they somehow they're just okay. They're good. They're going to make the playoffs.
Right.
But they're not
Electric.
Although, last year they got off that ridiculous start and everybody was freaking out and and then by August it was wah wah.
Every man.
Yeah, they had the best record in baseball. They had the best record in baseball for 120 days or something of the season.
Yeah.
And what did it turn out? So if they do start slow, maybe the fan base that doesn't have the fever, maybe they start getting behind them and saying, okay, they got to start playing better. I don't know what the dynamic is, but just sit back, enjoy, and watch. I agree. You can't throw away a season.
All right. You're a great baseball man. You're a great football man. But you are one of the top hoop men out there. So let's begin our last 3 topics. All have to do with hoops. We'll start. Number 3 is going to be Philadelphia Cinderellas. Are they even going to get to the ball? You're on fire, Andrew. You're on fire. Do we have any hope? And give us the state of the Big 5.
Well, it's not good, Ant. It's not good. The only hope you may have is St. Joe's would have to win their tournament or maybe even just get to the final because they're sitting at 19-10 right now in the A10. They have some really good guards. This kid Fleming, a bigger guy from Camden, really nice player. I like watching him play. But, I think that's just a long shot. Billy Lang's team's been so up and down this year. I don't think Villanova's going to really do anything in the Big East tournament, so I don't think that they're going to go anywhere. The biggest story out of Penn is Sam Brown, Brett Brown's son, who is just playing lights out lately. And the big story out of LaSalle, Drexel. Drexel, I don't think is there. I made this mistake last year, and somebody got touched. Said, no, they have a chance if they win their conference. So we'll go there. Temple, I love Adam Fisher, and you're Temple out. Adam Fisher.
Yeah.
Do you like him?
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah, I like him a lot. Mashburn is fun to watch.
Yeah.
But
I mean, what hurt them is Mashburn gets hurt, and that was a big loss.
Oh, huge loss because everything goes right through him, right? Need big shots, need plays. It's all him. And LaSalle, I'm going to go out there on Saturday to see Fran Dunphy's last game at LaSalle. We were nice enough to be invited to go over. My son Kyle and I. Kyle played for LaSalle for a year. So we're going to go over there, see Fran Dunphy's last game. That's probably the biggest and best story that's going to come out of the Big Five this year, right, Ant?
Yeah. I know. I missed the days when we had our runs, our March runs.
I was working at the Daily News on Selection Sundays, and it was the best. You'd have 2, 3, maybe even 4 teams going and wondering where we're going for regionals and, as reporters and all of that.
Dude.
It was still putting out the big.
The special section. Everyone. It was the best. You went through every team.
We had thumbnails on every team.
Yes.
Every team. We had thumbnails that we wrote individually. Yeah. It was great. We're not going to have that this year.
No. It was the best, man. I loved it. I used to see you guys on the road all the time when I was in New York. And
it was great.
I mean, Girardi, I sold Girardi everywhere. We used to always wind up with the same regions. One time we're in Seattle, one time we're in St. Louis. We were all over the place. It was man, I missed the tournament. It should be a good tournament, though.
I'll tell you what, there's some fun teams to watch, and I'm really into college basketball. Auburn getting upset last night. That's one thing. But Duke is real good. St. John's, I love watching them play defense.
Yeah.
Alabama is so athletic. There's a lot of fun basketball out there. I think this is going to be a good tournament, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, and then you got the mighty Duke. I mean, they're just.
Yeah, Flag's been on fire lately. He's been playing even better recently.
You know what? I wish to God, now it doesn't matter, right? But I wish to God that he would go back. He was talking about me, like hitting at it, like maybe I'll come back. How great would that be to see him another year?
It's funny. And if he has the right people in his ear, because there was a former Sixer that I spent a lot of time with because I did a magazine article with him and he was with the team also, regretted unbelievably badly that he left Duke, and that was Jahlil Okafor. Wow. He wanted to stay so badly, but because family situation and whatever, he went on to the NBA, make his money and all that stuff. But if Jahlil Okafor, if we were to call him right now, Ant, and say, what's your biggest regret in life? He would say, stay 4 years at Duke. I guarantee it.
And now you can do that because you're getting paid. Like back then, you weren't getting paid, at least, over the table.
Right.
And now you get legitimate pay now too.
Oh my! These guys are making good money, right, Ant?
You get 20 grand in a bag of cash, in a brown bag, right? Like you get legitimate cash, big time money.
Yeah. He is. They are. It's wild. NIL, I think you agree, has to me kind of ruined college basketball. With the payments, the transfer portal, all that. You can agree that
I'm
kids
pro NIL.
That's exactly what my point was going to be. You can agree that kids should be paid and they're bringing money into the university. I'm fine with that. But the way it's gone, that it's like, walking into Fran Dunphy's office one time a couple summers ago and him saying, yeah, I lost a kid over $30,000. Now I'm exaggerating or whatever, but like that's the part that hurts me, and the transfer portal and all that. Remember, we used to know the starting fives of every team, right, Andy?
Yes. You
could give us top 20 and we could name starting fives. Now it's like, wait, where's this kid from? Where's he going?
It's free agent. It's all free agency.
It is.
I mean, look at Pitino said, he's not about recruiting high school kids. He's about recruiting from the portal.
Right. It's a different way you have to look at it now.
It's all
crazy.
free agency. It's what it is.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you pay the kids, you can keep them. You just got to pay them.
That's what it's all about.
All right. The number 2 topic is the NBA and the state of the NBA. Now, you cover the NBA for years. All right. Adam Silver's NBA. I mean, we just saw the Luka trade, which is unbelievable, right? Like the fact that Nico Harrison could trade Luka Doncic for a broken down player. And I love Anthony Davis, but you're 30 years old and you're injured all the time, and you trade Luka. You just made the Lakers, and the Lakers are good. State of the NBA to you, Bob.
I don't go as far as say unwatchable or horrible or anything like that, because I still love basketball in all forms. But man, I'll give you an example. Last night I was on Twitter for something, or on my computer about some highlights of Charles Barkley scoring like 55 in a playoff game for the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
And I'm watching that game and I'm like, and I don't want to sound like an old guy here, like, that's not it. It's just a different way of basketball. I'm not saying, the game was better back in our day. No, if the game's better today, I would say that too. But it's not. And a lot of it goes to, and I still talk to a lot of NBA guys, particularly referees and stuff. A lot of it to me that's sickening is these players complaining all the time. And does it hurt the brand of basketball? I think it does. I mean, watch a play. See if there's any play where guys aren't raising their hands or calling for an and one, complaining. I think that hurts the game a little bit. Everybody tried. Basketball is an imitation game, just like every other sport. What did everybody try to imitate over the last 10 years? The Golden State Warriors. Well, that was a big mistake. You had 2 of the greatest shooters of all time, maybe the 2 best shooters of all time, along with a portion of Kevin Durant being there, and people were trying to imitate that. You can't do that. You're not imitating those 2 shooting the basketball. So it's not in a great state right now, I don't think. Great players, yeah, still. But I don't know, and I can't pinpoint what it is, but the state of it is not at the level where it used to be for me.
Yeah, it's interesting, kind of where, and you watch a lot of it. I should talk about LeBron's accomplishment last night and, on the pantheon of greatness. Just, give me a paragraph on LeBron.
Well, you know what? It drives me crazy that why does Michael Jordan's name have to come right after LeBron in a negative sense to LeBron? Like, appreciate what LeBron James is, like, look at all of his accomplishments. You're talking about the leading scorer in the NBA, top 3 assist man in the NBA. I don't care about longevity. That's great to me. You're 40 years old and you're still running up and down the floor with 20-year-olds. Good for you. To me, that should add to his legacy, not be a detriment to it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take Jordan. I'll take Jordan if we have to do, but I'll tell you what, if you're on a playground and you look at LeBron James and Michael Jordan there and you're talking skill set, passing the ball, everything like that, you got a real good argument of who the greater player is. And why a comparison or negative, everything's so, divisive now. No, he's a great player. Jordan was a great player. Who's 1, who's 2? Who cares? We get to watch LeBron James. That's a really fun thing to do.
Yeah, I'm with you. And then finally, the team that you covered for years and years, clap your hands, everybody, for Philadelphia. The process.
Yeah.
Here you go. Is process or processed foods worse for you? Which is worse? Therein lies the burgers and fries and chicken fingers behind Joel.
Various transformations from their original state. That's what process is. And God, we've seen it both with the food and with the team, right? It's funny. You guys were talking songs earlier. Here was our song when the Sixers were in the process. It was 10-9, 8, 76 losses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins
With
because we thought they were going to go 6-76 one year when they won 10 games.
1, 2, 3, 4,
3, 4,
5, 6
5, 76
wins.
losses. Yeah, that's exactly what we were doing, man. That's how bad it was. They lost 26 in a row back
Yeah.
then. 6 in a row. I'll go processed food because that through my life has sat in my stomach better than watching that dredge that I watched back when I was covering the team and they were losing on a daily basis.
And now we're back. Now, and this is what I want to talk to you about. All that pain yielded all the assets. And now we're back to this. When March you're supposed to make your playoff push. And on the floor last night was Quentin Grimes, Kelly Oubre. Paul George actually made an appearance. And then all your Lonnie Walkers and Ricky Council, all your fourths. I mean, look at where we've come. I mean, I got to ask you, as someone who covered it intimately for all those years, did you expect this ending?
No, you can't predict, as you know, and you and I have talked, you can't predict injuries. And what happened with Embiid is devastating. And it's devastated this organization, and it devastated what was the process and all that. It's over. Like, it's over. I don't know if that knee is ever going to be better. I'm looking at the people you mentioned, the Grimes and the Oubres. Before, I used to look at them as, oh, could they be nice pieces? And Yabusele, could they be nice pieces to fit around Joel Embiid and Maxey and now Paul George, whatever? Now you have to look at it, if you're Daryl Morey or whoever the GM is going to be in the future, you have to look at it as, who am I building around? What am I building? And how am I? You can't build around a Tyrese Maxey. I think you and I agree on that. The NBA, you can't build around a smaller guard.
Right.
You just can't. I don't know. What do you do now?
And it's funny because their other piece is another undersized guard in McCain.
Right, exactly. They're pieces. You don't have that foundation. If Joel Embiid isn't out there, you do not have that foundation. It's not Paul George, as you know. And as we said, it can't be guards. I don't know where they go right now. I don't. And I have come to the realization that I don't expect Joel Embiid ever to be what he was ever again. I just don't. I think that knee is pretty much done.
So what do you do? If you're the Sixers, what's the plan, man?
I mean, hopefully you get a top, 6 pick this year. What does that get you? If you don't get Cooper Flag, what are you getting? A piece, right? I don't know what build around things there are. Do you go another way and say, okay, there's a tremendous shooter out there, and if we team him with Maxey and a McCain and whatever other things, that's the way you're going to go to, like, imitate the Warriors from years past? I honestly don't know, Ant. I don't know what to do. You have no trade value. And what are you going to do? You're going to trade Maxey? Okay, you might think about it, but what are you getting for Maxey?
Right.
I don't know. I think anything's open right now, Ant. And this kind of came about so abruptly where, all right, we knew Embiid wasn't 100%. Maybe they should shut him down. But now you hear, and people that I've talked to, you wonder if, like, this is kind of almost it, period, not just for this season.
What do you do with Morey?
Yeah, you know me, and I hate to, like, call for people's jobs or anything like that. I think if I'm Josh Harris, if I'm the organization, I sit down with them and say, look, we have to go a different way now. It's not building around, it's building up, completely building up. What is your game plan? And if you don't like it, yeah, you're going to have to look elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, and the problem is, then you have to bring somebody in to go, what? I don't know, Bob Myers or somebody that comes down here and goes, how do I sort through the rubble?
Yeah.
Right? Because where do you even begin to roll up your sleeves to go and fix this thing, right? Like, obviously you're going to be hamstrung with Embiid, but you also got the specter of Owen George, all that money.
Right. Yeah. It's a horrible hole that they're in right now. And I was thinking of this the other night, Ann. Like, I was going through some stuff and talking to Brett Brown when he saw Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons on the floor together. Brett Brown knows basketball under Popovich. Coaching, you can argue that he was not a good coach, whatever. He knows basketball. And he would say to me, God, watching those two together is unbelievable. Then Doc Rivers comes in. And Doc and I sat down one time. He said, man, being an opponent watching those two play, you thought they were good. Being with them every day, it is incredible how good they are. Nick Nurse and I sat in his office and talked, and him raging, going on and on and on about Joel Embiid. Why hasn't it ever worked? Like, is this an organizational thing that the organization just doesn't know how to win? It's not I'm not labeling the organization losers. I've said this before, but it's not a winning organization. It's not where somebody comes and ups their game and wins and plays better. Why? I don't know, but it really hasn't happened.
Yeah, but I would push back a little bit on. I agree with you, your premise, but the reason why they haven't won is they haven't assembled the team correctly.
Well, they've tried, haven't they? I mean, from the Jimmy Butlers, from the J.J. Redicks, from all of the people that they brought in to try to surround, you would think that somewhere
but they never, again, had they stayed with Butler, maybe they win, right?
Yeah.
There's certain things that they've done. Fultz was a disaster. Even with Simmons, right? I'll never blame them for Simmons because I still think Simmons could have been something, and he just has some sort of mental, blockage when it came to the game and wanting to play and shooting the basketball that just crept up on him. Okay, so if you put him to the side, Fultz was a disaster. Okafor, you were kind of unlucky with, right? Because he was the pick, but he didn't fit next to Embiid. Like they should have. Like that's where you got to get creative and make trades and figure out wing. Like they've never had any wings. They were all thighs.
Yeah, exactly my point. Like organizationally, how did you not figure it out better? You had players. We can go on, and I think I had a list one time. You and I may have talked about this. I wrote a list of like 17 players that were good players that they brought in here during, this after the process time to try to surround Joel Embiid. And it just never worked. And I don't know why. You had the talent. You go from a Jimmy Butler and all the people that you mentioned and everything, and guys that did get on the floor to play. It just never worked. Like Al Horford, how come he comes here and is crap? And I think it could have worked if it was coached properly with him and Embiid. But he leaves here, and even older leaves here, and still plays a much better game after he leaves Philadelphia.
Like it's unreal that he's still playing and he's still contributing. Oh my God! Yeah.
So you and I know so many inside stories of different things about the organization that can lend you to think positive thoughts and negative thoughts. I just don't think this organization has been run terribly great over these years that could have maybe lent to the talent they had here being better.
I hear you, buddy. Bobby, you got one. You got one for Bob?
No, I was looking. You mentioned Drexel. They do have a shot, I guess.
Do they? I got to be honest, VJ. I forgot to look them up when I knew I was going to be talking.
So, I mean, they got a first-round matchup against Elon, who they lost earlier, too. But, I mean, they got a slight puncher's chance, I think, to get in.
All right. We'll give the Dragons a little puncher's chance.
We're reaching for some hope here,
Bob,
absolutely, dude.
You're going to be at you got a basketball game tomorrow night, right?
Oh, yeah. My high school came to Catholic playing Paul Six. For the fourth time this year, and Paul Six has beaten them 3 times. So Camden Catholic looking to try to beat them. It's a South Jersey semifinal game. So yeah,
you do the book. You're part of the scores table.
Yeah. So the coaches at Camden Catholic are all friends of mine. I coached there for years. My son played there, and I went to a game earlier this year, and they had a student keeping the book, and I could tell he was looking over at the stands the whole time. And I went over to him. I said, "Do you want to be up with your friends?" And he's like, "Yeah." I said, "Go, I'll keep the book." So I go and keep the book for him.
That's awesome. You're the best, buddy. You're the man.
It keeps me involved in the game.
That's it, brother. Yeah, listen, we love you, buddy.
I love you
This was great. All right, we'll be bugging you again, and we're working on things to try to get you with us. So we love you.
I'm here. I'm here whenever you need me, and you know that.
Thanks, Bobby. Appreciate it, brother.
Boys, be good.
The great Bob Cooney, one of the treasures, Philadelphia media.
He's not doing the official score. He's a scorekeeper for Camden Catholic. Yeah. I was like, that might be a little fugazi, a little conflict of interest.
Bias?
Yeah,
Bob's above reproach.
Yeah, he loves his Camden Catholic.
He does, but he's above reproach.
Yeah.
I would always go to that Bob would be above reproach when it comes to that stuff. All right, Let's talk about some of our friends, shall we? All right, let's talk about some Shady Rays.
Yeah,
Let's talk sunglasses.
it's not
baby.
sunny out, but hey, even when it's overcast, it can still put a strain on your eyes. So if you're like me, man, I wear sunglasses every day. I try to, and it might not be summer yet, but summer's coming. Start thinking about protecting your eyes. Our friends over at Shady Rays, they're helping you get in the right frame of mind with their premium polarized shades that won't break your bank. Shady Rays, it's an independent sunglasses company, and they're offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. These glasses, they got durable frames, crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all your outdoor activities. And if you're a skier, snowboarder, they got you covered there too. Shady Rays got a brand new collection of snow goggles to help you see clearly and look good on the slopes. And these are available in both adult and kid sizes. They got a bunch of colors available, so you can find a color in whatever your favorite team's colors are. They got you covered. And check this out. If your shades ever go missing or they take an unexpected hit, don't sweat it. They've got the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair is backed by their lost or broken replacement program. And if you don't love your shades, you can just exchange them for a new pair with their worry-free 30-day returns. There's no risk when you shop. Their team's always got your back with fast personal support. PHLY viewers and listeners, go to shadyrays.com. Save 35% off polarized glasses with the code PHLY. Over 300,000 people have rated Shady Rays 5 stars. So use the code PHLY today at shadyrays.com.
All right, now we go. Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. The Brain had an epidural today, so he was not here, our ambassador. But there's a couple selections. I like UConn tonight over Marquette. UConn is laying 4.5 on the Bet Parks. So I like them to beat
A little
Marquette.
upset tonight?
Yeah, I and maybe it's because I still believe in Hurley and that team, even though they've gotten smashed. But I think it's a spot, home team spot. Last night I thought Arkansas, right? And they won outright.
They won outright. Tonight, I might go a little doggy tonight with you, though. You like Maryland. I think I'm going to take the Wolverines tonight. I'm going to take Brains squad. Brains get an epidural. Michigan's -2.5 versus Maryland tonight at home. Ann Arbor.
Here's the problem. I just don't think they're any good.
Who?
Michigan.
I don't like either. I don't like any of the Big Ten teams, to be honest with you. I think they just play. They're not playing great basketball.
Yeah,
But I think Michigan pulls off tonight.
I don't. I mean, it's not that I like Maryland. I just don't think Michigan's any
And
good.
you got a big.
But my pick would be UConn.
You got a big one with Alabama, Florida tonight.
Yeah. I'd never listen.
I'm gonna
It's at Alabama.
Roll Tide tonight.
It's at Alabama. I don't ever like to go against Florida though.
I don't know, but
Florida's
I
scary.
think I'm rolling Tide.
They're like the mighty Gators.
They are.
Because they can shoot it from beyond the arc. And also Champions League. What do you got? You got to pick their Frazier?
Oh, yeah. Liverpool playing PSG tonight. I would say
Champions League.
Yeah, 2 goals. Liverpool, Mo Salah probably is going to score. I think it's going to be a good game.
You got your Liverpool squad?
Yeah, they played today, 3.
I know. It's a big game. Paris Saint-Germain.
Paris Saint-Germain, yeah. I think Mo Salah's going to score a goal.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's been hot. He's got 45 goals in the Premier League. So, I mean, if you're going to want anybody to score a goal, it's going to be him.
All right. What about my Italian squad, the Inter Milan? Inter. Are they going to advance today? They're a big favorite.
Who are they playing?
Can't even pronounce it. Feyenoord?
Oh, Feyenoord.
Oh, you know that squad?
Yeah.
Oh, come on,
Yeah.
man. Everyone knows Feyenoord.
Julian Carranza used to play on the Union. He's on there now.
Okay, Feyenoord. All right.
And the big boss for Liverpool, he used to be the manager for them.
The big boss.
Yeah,
What's
Arnie
the
Slot.
big- what's
Arnie
the
Slot,
big- is that
the
his nickname,
manager.
the
So
big
did I
boss?
pronounce
Yeah,
it
the
correctly?
boss. They always call him
Feyenoord?
the boss.
I was right?
I would say Inter. I would take Inter.
Okay, you got Inter?
Yeah, Feyenoord, you're right.
All right, how about the Battle of Germany? Bayern versus Leverkusen.
Oh, that's gonna be a good one. I mean, Harry Kane. I mean, you can't go against Harry Kane. So I go Bayern on that one.
Bayern.
Harry Kane. Can't go against Harry Kane.
There you go. All right, there it is.
Well, I got one more, didn't I?
Oh, yeah? Trash man pick?
No, this is there's no trash today. Old Miss at home. They're only getting 2.5. That's a thin line against number 4 Tennessee. I always like to bet against Rick Barnes.
You hate Tennessee.
I like to
You
bet
love
against.
their football team, but you hate their basketball team.
I'm not a Rick Barnes fan. Old Miss tonight.
You
Maybe
go,
outright. I'm going outright. Old
yeah,
Miss.
the Reds?
Yep.
I like that. I
Yeah.
can totally see that. There you go. All those picks, you have it right on the, I'm sure the brain will chime in later. We'll pass along with one of his under 3.5 assists.
Someone said he was on fire last night. They followed him. John P. said Brain had a good night again last night.
Brain, it's what he does, man. He makes a living out of this stuff. It's unbelievable. Download the BetPark Sportsbook online casino app for you, and then all the games you have, obviously, and March Madness coming up, and baseball, but you got all the casino games as well, like my man VG over here plays the live dealer blackjack and the live dealer roulette, craps, baccarat, all the hot online slots.
Cats. I'm a big dog guy, but they got a cat slot I like.
I love it.
There's like different jaguars and tigers come up.
Yeah. What was the other one? The fireballs of money?
Cash Eruption.
There you go.
Oh, man.
You get new users, in fact. You get up to $1,000 casino bonus back. You got to check out betparks.com for all the details. You got to be 21. You got to be in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. This portion of the show is brought to you by Rite Aid. That's right. TrueMark Financial Credit Union. TrueMark.com/PHLY for the credit union difference. Well, I'm jonesing for baseball.
Yeah.
Right? And I love our next guest. He's such a great baseball man. And I feel like that we're sleeping on the squad.
I'm not. I'm man, but the city is. The Delaware Valley is sleeping.
Well, I want to go down to Clearwater where nobody sleeps in Clearwater. Always a lot of fun. And our man, Todd Zolecki, MLB. Todd. Good morning, my brother. Look at it. It looks great.
Got a little
he?
lavender on today.
Yeah,
he's in the Easter season. It's Ash Wednesday. He's got the Easter season on. Nice.
That's right. My Catholic schooling,
That's right. Ash Wednesday, baby. Today's Ash Wednesday. I got to go get ashes after this.
No one here is a good Catholic. No ashes around.
Well, it's too. I didn't get a chance to stop. I'll stop on the way home.
We got 6 o'clock masses.
Yeah. So, my brother, I'm a little. I need to pick your brain here because up north, I don't feel a buzz. I'm talking to people, and I'm getting like Phil's, man, and they give me they didn't do anything, and I'm afraid that this narrative is going to kind of follow them up north.
Probably will follow them up north. You're right. I mean, because I think everybody has been kind of accustomed to the past several years. They've always made a big splash in the offseason. They got Harper and Realmuto before the 2019 season, and they got Wheeler, then they got Turner. And, they've always, the last several offseasons, like I said, they've been getting big stars and just making big pieces, signing guys to multi-year deals, contracts. And, after they signed Wheeler to the extension last spring and they extended, they re-signed Nola to a 7-year deal that same offseason, they didn't really do much this offseason, relatively speaking, right? I mean, they got Jesus Luzardo, they got Jordan Romano trying for a bounce back here, and they got Joe Ross. But I think Jesus Luzardo could be a big pickup for this team. And I think people just aren't maybe as familiar with Luzardo as they are with, Juan Soto or, Blake Snell, who hit the free agent market. Even though he's pitched against the Phillies over the past few years, I just think that because he played in Miami and they don't really know him that much. But, man, I'm telling you what, he's pitching today in Lakeland against the Tigers. But his first outing, it might not have gotten a lot of attention up in Philly, but the people in this clubhouse were ecstatic, and the people that just watched him pitch were fired up because he did look really, really good.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I love his arm, man. He's got such a great arm, always has. I mean, that's what gives me that's what excites me about this season. And I get, everybody wants to splash, but this team is very good. And I know that, the way it ended kind of still lingers. And I think that's the real reason why people are like, all right, show me in the summer, I guess. But, man, their pitching staff has a chance to be great.
It really does. I mean, you start with Wheeler, of course, right? And then Aaron Nola, you know what you're going to get out of him. 200 innings, competitive. I know he gets dinged a lot by fans for home runs and stuff like that. But he's been very, very good pitcher over the last 6-7 years. I think he's led since 2017. He leads the majors in innings pitched. He's second in strikeouts. He's third in wins. He's been very, very good. You have Ranger, who's kind of I don't want to say a wild card, but when he's healthy and he's great. He's great. Or healthy, when he's healthy, he's great. And then you have Luzardo, who we just talked about. And then to me, Christopher Sanchez took a huge step forward last season. And he came into camp kind of man on the mission, like not satisfied. He came into camp really hungry. He got a lot bigger and stronger in the offseason, but not like bulked up where you're like, oh, is this going to hurt his pitching? But he came into camp bigger, stronger. He's throwing harder, and he thinks it's something that he can maintain over the course of the season. He thinks he can throw his sinker, 95, 96, maintain that velocity all year. And, he's got the changeup, which is already one of the best ones in baseball. And now he's kind of worked out hard on making his slider more consistent. So if he can do that, they could have, everybody talks about the Dodgers and other teams, but I think this team could have one of the best rotations in baseball, or should, and possibly the best rotation in baseball. And if you have one of the best rotations in baseball, you should be able to win a lot of games. A lot of things have to happen, of course, but I really do like this rotation a lot.
I do too, man. I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with it. I love it. Listen, and Dodgers got a ridiculous collection of guys, right? Suzuki makes his debut yesterday. 3 scoreless, 5 strikeouts, right? Okay. I mean, he's got great stuff, the whole thing. But a lot of those guys are arm issues that have not stayed healthy. So I like the durability of. I think this staff, when you think about it, really only Ranger's the guy that has struggled to kind of stay healthy and give you innings. Yeah, exactly. You mentioned the Dodgers. Sasaki. How many is he going to? He's not going to pitch 180 innings this year. They're going to have to monitor him. Ohtani's coming off a Tommy John surgery. Dustin May's coming off Tommy John surgery. Blake Snell historically has not been the healthiest of pitchers. He's a 5-6 inning pitcher.
Yeah, typically he's 5-6 innings. So it's not like, is he really going to match or exceed his innings limit or number from last year? I would bet against that, I guess. I think you're right. There's a lot of reasons to think that this rotation, durability wise, and just being able to go 6-7 innings into a game, I would take this Phillies rotation over that one. Of course, and then remember they've got Andrew Painter. They expect at some point mid-season, could be June, could be July, could be August, and the wild card could be Taijuan Walker if somebody goes down. I am not saying he's back. I am saying that
I hear things.
I am saying that he looked way better than I ever saw him at any point last season, particularly last spring. Again, I'm not saying he's back. I'm saying he threw the ball well enough where you go, this could make things interesting the rest of the spring, and it could make things interesting starting the season, even if he does start the season in the bullpen.
All right, let's go tackle at the plate, because people still go, the plate, bad habits. We know what they are. Look what happened against the Mets. I have this argument constantly with people. How they look? You see him every day. How's Bohm look? It's early in spring. I get it, but what are you seeing?
Yeah, Bohm hit a couple home runs yesterday. Honestly, I think with these guys, this veteran group, it's just really hard to base anything off of spring. I mean, I remember years ago, Aaron Rowan, the year that he made the All-Star team, he might have had one of the worst spring training performances I've ever seen in my entire life. And he was like beside himself. And we're like, it's spring training. Who cares? He's like, anyway, he ended up hitting over 300 that season. I've seen that so many times where guys have bad springs and they have great seasons. They have great springs and they have bad seasons. I think this team is going to hit, they were top 5 in runs scored, batting average, on base percentage, and slugging percentage last season. So they fell short when it mattered the most. And they fell short when it mattered the most, those final 5 games of the 2023 NLCS. I don't think that means that they can't get hot at the right time. But, we've talked about this all the time. So many times in baseball, you just have to be hot at the right time. And I tell this to people, the Phillies won the World Series in 2008. They were not the best team in baseball that season, but they got really hot at the right time. The 2011 Cardinals barely got into the playoffs. They got hot the last month of the season. They stayed hot, and they knocked the 102 win Phillies team out of postseason in the first round. So, just because the offense has struggled the last two postseasons, it doesn't necessarily mean they can never get over that hump. People hate hearing me say that. I know it. They're like, I don't want to hear it from you, but there is a lot of truth to that. You do have to get hot at the right time, and they didn't perform last year against the Mets. There's no doubt about it.
So I'll ask you this. Like, I'm just curious. Like, and I'm with you. Veteran team, spring training, you can't glean much out of it. But what is there a different approach? What are they talking about with Turner? Because to me, it goes back to Turner, right? Like, Turner is going to have to be the guy. You need Turner to get back to a semblance of what he was, and you need somebody like you need Stott, you need somebody or Bohm to really kind of get right.
Yeah, I think a lot does kind of play off of Trey Turner. I remember the first half last season, they were amazing. And I think, and they were amazing because the starting pitching was great, but also because Trey Turner was on base all the time in the first half. He was hitting like 350 at one point or 330 at one point. And then he struggled in the second half, and the offense kind of stalled or was definitely more inconsistent. I think that's one of the reasons why they're talking about hitting him leadoff, is that it might change his approach. It might improve his selectivity. He was certainly chasing a lot of pitches outside the strike zone last year. He got way more breaking balls in the second half than he did in the first half last year. And so guys were just like, we're just going to throw him breaking balls away, and he's probably going to swing and miss them. And he did. So he does think that possibly if he does start the season hitting leadoff, that will improve his selectivity. It'll be less about, I've got to drive the ball, and more of just I have to do whatever I can to get on base. So if I have to take a walk, I have to take a walk, and then just wait for the big poppers behind him to knock it in. So I think that's a big, like I said, that's a big impetus in the lineup talk by Rob Thompson. And I think Trey Turner's on board with it. I think Bryson Stott, you're right, that's another guy. They need him to step up. I thought going into the season last year, he was kind of my breakout pick. I thought he was going to maybe make an all-star team based off of how he played in 2023. I mean, he was one of the better second basemen in baseball. Didn't happen. They said he had this elbow ligament thing where he would swing and miss, and he would hyperextend himself, and his fingers and thumbs would get numb after swing. And so he thought that got him into some bad habits with his swing. He didn't hit the fastball last year at all, but now he's healthy, and he thinks if he's healthy, and he can kind of rediscover his swing and get on base. And man, if Stott can do what he did a couple years ago, and Turner can kind of find some consistency, you just lengthen the lineup with, one potential MVP candidate in Turner and one potential all-star in Bryson Stott. And I think that would make a huge difference in terms of finding some consistency throughout the entire season.
Yeah, I'm gathering the whole plan is with the outfield. Let's see what we got. Like, you think about Kepler and you go, is he every day? What's his deal? Is he against lefties? Is it, where do you think they're at with the outfield? And, at some point, I guess you can always look at the deadline and go pick up a bat.
Yeah, well, exactly. So I think for sure to start the season, I think they should. The plan is this, and it should be, is run Max Kepler out there every day in left field and run Brandon Marsh out there almost every day in center field and see if these guys can actually hit lefties. I mean, I feel like the last couple of years we've talked about, is Brandon Marsh an everyday player? And the Phillies say, yes, we believe he can play every day and we believe he can play lefties. But then when it comes down to it, they didn't really play him that much against lefties.
Yeah.
He had some success late in the season last year against lefties, but I think it's time to just run them out there the first 2 months of the season, and just give them like a real shot to prove themselves. You can't just go for a few weeks and go, this is not working. We got to start playing Buddy Kennedy in left, or start, let's start platooning Johan Rojas and Marsh in center field. I say just give them some run, see how they do. And if they can do it, great. And if they can't, you're right. July, they could maybe look for an upgrade in the corner outfield position, but they think Wes Wilson can maybe help him out at some point when he comes back from his oblique injury. But that's the plan right now. Run Kepler, and Kepler's made some swing adjustments that have actually seemed to have paid off. think he homered yesterday, and he's hit some balls really
He's got
hard.
pop. I mean, 2 years
Yeah,
ago,
he does.
like
He's got a really good. He's got a nice looking swing, and he's talking about uh, his best years were kind of when he was pulling the ball. So he's kind of moved a little bit closer to the plate. So now the outside pitch is a little bit closer to him. He can kind of do more with that. And then the inside pitches, he can really drive out to right field. And the guy hit 35 home runs several years ago. I mean, the thing with him is just, can the guy stay on the field? He's been hurt a lot years. So, that's going to be a big thing for him.
Hey, Todd, how's the bullpen shaping up? There's like one or two. Is there one spot available for grabs in the bullpen?
I think there's only one spot, and I think it's probably Taijuan Walker right now. If the other 5 guys stay healthy in the rotation, I think it's probably Taijuan Walker's spot, especially if he keeps pitching this well. He provides them a lot of depth. If somebody goes down the rotation, now you maybe feel a little bit better about throwing him in there. But yeah, you think about you have Jordan Romano, you have Ryan Kerkering as the top 2 righties, you have Alvarado, Strom, Banks, the 3 lefties. And then you have Jose Ruiz. And then I'm missing somebody in there that it's going to come to me. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. But Alvarado, I think he's somebody that we should talk about, because he didn't have a great year last year. He was kind of inconsistent, kind of fell down the depth chart a little bit. And he came into camp in much better shape. He came in his first outing the other day, he threw 100.7. which is great, of course. But he's also throwing a curveball. He threw I think he threw 2 curveballs in his first outing. And I went over him the other day and talked to him about it. And I said, you're going to throw the curveball a lot more this year? He's like, yes. I said, why? And he kind of laughed at me. He goes, why? I said, yeah, tell me why you're going to throw your curveball more. Because I think he threw 3 all last season, and he didn't throw a single curveball in 2023. And he said, speaking in the third person, he said, because I want them to think Alvy's coming in and he doesn't just have a sinker and cutter anymore. He's got a curveball. So I think he was disappointed with how he pitched last year. He didn't want to admit that, but I think he was. And I think he knows that the Phillies have a $9 million club option after the season. And I think he would like them to pick that up, and I think he'd like to stay here. So he came into camp in better shape, and definitely, I think, motivated to have a bigger, better year. So, I think that would be huge for this bullpen. I think you get Alvarado doing what he can do with Strom, Kerkering, Romano in the back end. That it has the potential to be pretty good. And Romano, he got dinged up the other day pitching here, but it was, I was over in Dunedin, so I missed it, but I heard it was not some great defense behind him, and he kind of the line was a little bit deceiving, but he has been throwing the ball really well. And it looks like he's kind of back to what he was with the Blue Jays a couple years ago when he made 2 All-Star teams.
Yeah, he's pretty dominant. Have you seen Banks throw? Because he seemed a little underwhelming last year when he showed up.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just talking to somebody about him today, and they think that he's working on some mechanical adjustments this season that they think can get him to be a little bit more consistent. He's not going to blow the ball by anybody, but they think that he can be better than he was last year, and I think they're definitely counting on him to be better. But if they're also not relying on him like they are maybe, or expecting as many big things out of him as they are with Strom and Alvarado. But I think certainly they're hoping he can be a 1-2 inning guy that can go get both righties and lefties out. So we'll see if these mechanical adjustments actually can pay some dividends for him.
I'll tell you, I'm excited for Kerkering. I mean, his stuff is sick. He's filthy. And if he just, you could see, I think this is the year he puts it together.
Yeah, we talked to Caleb Cotham a little bit before spring training, and talking to some of the guys here this spring. They all agree. They all think that he is primed to have a big breakout year. And quite frankly, they need him to have a big breakout year. I mean, very good last year. It's not, so I'm not saying it's not like a huge stretch. And I don't even know what a big, I shouldn't, when I say big breakout year, I don't even know what that means necessarily, but because he was, like I said, pretty good last year, but just being a little bit more consistent, maybe a little bit more relied upon. That was the thing that they said in the offseason. And the reason why they let Estevez go and Hoffman go, one, because they didn't feel that they wanted to sign them to multi-year deals, but also because they thought Kirkering could step in and take on one of those roles. So they're definitely relying on him. He's got electric stuff. He's got that great sweeper. He's going to throw a sinker with the four seamer. And so they think that he can give teams a lot different look. And he also has the mentality to do it too. They think that he's not scared to be in those situations. And that's another big thing. You know, you have to have the mentality to pitch in those spots. And he seems to have that type of mentality.
He does have a good makeup. Yeah, I'm with you. Hey, what's Bryce's like? What's Bryce up to?
Yeah, I'm out here right now. They're having a very spirited infield workout with Bobby Dickerson and Larry Boa hitting the fungo around.
I love it.
Yeah. And Bryce is I saw him make a bad throw and he chucked his glove to the ground and stuff like that. So he's into it. You know, I think he's in a good frame of mind. I think he's, I think Bryce comes into every camp and every season going, and he doesn't say this out loud, but I think he's like, I want to win an MVP this year.
Yeah.
I think he expects greatness out of himself. And you see it during the season. If he's in a slump, you can tell he's in a slump because, you can see the frustration on his face at times. And Rob Thompson talks about this a lot. He's like, he's very hard on himself because he expects to be great. So he came into camp in great shape. He came into camp in a good frame of mind. And chatting with him the other day, I was chatting with him about the Fanatic tattoo he got on his right arm, and he had some fun talking about that. So, I think he comes in, like I said, looking for big 30, 40 home runs, 100 RBIs, whatever spot he's hitting the lineup. It might be 2, it might be 3.
Yeah, is he? I know he said I'm a 3-hole hitter. Does it matter?
I think if you pulled him aside and said, where do you want to hit? He probably would say 3. But he also said very quickly the other, he's like, I hit 2. I can hit 2. I've hit 4 before for this team. I can do it. He does not want to hit leadoff. He does not like hitting leadoff. And I don't think the Phillies want to hit him leadoff.
Yeah.
You could make the argument that it would make sense. I think you could ask a lot of people around here. They would say, yeah, Bryce would be a great leadoff hitter. But he likes to see some pitches before his at-bats. That's just something that he likes to do.
Yeah.
And honestly, whatever. I mean, if he hits first, he hits second.
Exactly.
I just want to hit him. Just hit him 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I want Bryce Harper hitting in the first 3 spots. You want him to get in at bat in the first inning.
I mean, the big question is the 3-hole because I'm assuming Bryce is going to be 2, and it's who's going to hit 3rd.
Probably, I would say right now it probably would be Bohm, just because he was probably their most consistent right-handed batter last year. 97 RBIs each of the last 2 years. So I think that they're hoping that he can replicate that success and, maybe even take a step forward. Maybe he's motivated by all the trade talk in the offseason and Phillies wanted to trade him. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, well, you were going to trade me. I'm going to have the best year of my life, and I'm going to make you guys go, oh, man, now we really can't trade him. Now what do we do with Aiden Miller next year or whatever?
Right.
That type of thing. So I would say right now it would be Turner, Harper, Bohm, Schwarber. But I asked Rob Thompson yesterday, because that was the lineup yesterday against the Yankees. I said, a lot of people think that might be your opening day lineup. He's like, we'll see. He said, we could flip it back around the other way. I said, what do you mean by that? He's like, well, we could still have Schwarber hit leadoff. So it doesn't sound like he's totally sold on what he's going to do.
Right.
So I said to him, I said, well, you did get to the World Series with Schwarber hitting leadoff. He goes, yes, we did. So there's that thing in the back of his mind as well.
Hey, Todd, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just while we're on lineups, I read a piece this week. They're saying it's kind of insignificant where you switch them up in the lineup over the course of a season, and what is more significant is platooning, like lefties and righties versus different pitchers. Do the Phillies subscribe to that? Like, do they not think it's as important where people bat in the lineup?
Yeah, I think they think there's importance to it, but I do think, they have all these models that they've run. And I did a story on that last year, talked to a guy that supplies like lineup information, and he actually ran some like season-long simulations. And the difference between hitting, like, for example, the 2 lineups I just mentioned, Turner, Harper, Bohm, Schwarber, or Schwarber, Turner, Harper, Bohm, is maybe like 2 runs over the course of an entire season, or maybe even less than that. And the only time a lineup really matters from talking to this guy I talked to for the story and other people, even in the organization, is almost kind of what you would call like the fire the manager lineup. So the only time that a lineup would really make a huge difference is if Rob on opening day said, Schwarber's hitting 7th, Harper's hitting 8th, and then, Turner's hitting 9th. That would be the biggest. And if you ran that over the course of the entire season, that's where you would see like the massive drop. So the one guy moving up, one guy moving down really shouldn't make that much of a difference. But a lot of it comes down to comfort. Where does a guy like to hit? If he's absolutely hates hitting a certain spot, that's why, I think, you're not going to see Bryce hit leadoff because I think he would prefer to hit second or third. He likes seeing pitches. So they're going to go, well, it's not going to make that much of a difference. So let's put him in a spot where he feels most comfortable. Because that's probably of the utmost importance for this team.
Yeah, it makes sense. It really does. My brother, what's been the highlight so far? What's the best thing you've done?
Well, I tell you what, the best thing I've done, I've eaten a lot of good food down here in Clearwater, like trying to get my diet back in gear with the
fish
instead of pigging myself out at home every night. But honestly, the best thing I've seen so far has been watching Jesus Luzardo pitch last week and watching Christopher Sanchez pitch the last couple times. Both of those guys look really, really good. And that's why I think people sleeping on the Phillies back home, again, who knows what's going to happen this season. I don't happen this season, but based off of what they've done the first couple times,
they're going to be good. I know they're going to be good.
It's pretty encouraging. I mean, Sanchez, I think, could be a sneaky pick to get some Cy Young votes this year, I think.
I like it. Todd Zolecki. Todd. I love Todd. My brother, you're the best, buddy.
Thanks, guys. It was fun.
Always fun with you. Give everybody Charlie's going to be there today. I think today.
Charlie's been here. He's been hanging out. Bo is here every single day.
I know Bo is here every day. Charlie called me the other night. He was at home. When was it? Tuesday night. I'm going to see the boys.
Yeah.
I go, good, man.
J-Roll's here today. Big piece. Ryan Howard.
Oh, man. That's awesome.
Actually, Jimmy just got on the field right now. He just got down there. So
that's great.
See those guys.
I love it. Well, enjoy, buddy. You're the best. But we love you.
Take care.
There he is. Todd, I love Zolecki. He's the best.
Yeah, he's cool. Man, I love that he's just maybe not even on purpose in the Easter season now with the Easter colored shirt.
I know, yeah, he did.
Yeah, nice.
He did. It's true. Is Zolecki a young Willem Dafoe?
Oh, I could see that.
Right?
Yeah, he's a little more handsome than Dafoe, but yes, I can see
Dafoe's
it.
cool. I always thought Dafoe was cool.
Yes.
Young Willem Dafoe? That works?
Totally works. I totally see it.
Okay, good. Because I was like, you know what? It hit me. I go, I think it's a Willem Dafoe piece right there.
Nice.
All right. Coming up, we have every week we visit with Mike Sielski, the fabulous columnist from the Inquirer. Today's always that day, but looking forward to usually on Tuesdays actually, but looking forward to today because we're going to talk about his book, which chronicles the dunk.
Love it.
The jam.
Love it.
Right? Nothing better. When I was a kid, the Sixers would do a thing with the Gusto dunk. Do you remember the Gusto dunk?
No.
Dude, you don't remember Gusto dunk?
I don't remember the Gusto dunk.
Oh, the Gusto dunk. Oh, it was the greatest. The Gusto dunk. It was my favorite. Daryl Dawkins.
Dude, it's one of the greatest things in sports.
It is.
Like even just at the high school at the Palestra, it's not even a fancy dunk, just a dunk. The whole place like,
dude, that's the best. You're right. All right, so we'll talk to Mike about that. But first, let's talk about some of our partners. Yes, let's talk about Ruffin.
the two of you guys.
We both got bum shoulders, right? And I'm done. I got to throw BP, man. It's warm, getting warm now.
Buy a machine.
We got practice, and man, oh man, I've been feeling it, man. I got no extension. I was trying to. I was doing what Todd was talking about, and I was doing a motion, right?
You look like you're throwing a screwball over there.
And I can't. I got no rotation. My rotator
It's
cuff
horrible,
is shot.
man. Yeah.
You too, man. You too. That's why we need Rothman, man. Rothman has got us. When we talk about Rothman orthopedics, we're not for us. It's a shoulder. For VG, I don't know, hands cramping, back out of whack. All right. Yeah. What about your knees? Right.
Yeah.
Joints. All right. The joints are aching and barking. Well, Rothman's got you at Rothman Orthopedics. Practically specialized care has been their passion for over 50 years. Their mission: high quality, compassionate, affordable care rooted in research. Research leading to new treatments and better outcomes. Each Rothman doc is laser focused on their specialty: hip, knee, spine, shoulder, elbow, you name it. They have a team for each body part right in your backyard. So you can cross over the defense, train the jumpers, throw BP to your kid, right? Do whatever, man. They're Rothman Orthopedics, and they specialize in you. That's 50 years. And Rothman's participated in thousands of groundbreaking research and clinical trials. The goal is advancing knowledge, developing treatments, improving outcomes for the benefit of their patients. Rothman Orthopedics, specialized in orthopedics, and you. Visit RothmanOrtho.com/PHLY to learn more and make an appointment today. All right. It's time now to talk about Parks Casino.
Love that spot.
This is for the hams. You guys hamming it up, baby. I love it. I love you guys when you ham it up. Let's talk about it. Parks Casino, our casino of choice. We love it. All right. It's got all the groundbreaking entertainment. You got boxing and MMA, comedy, concert. The state-of-the-art Excite Center is always popping. Thousands of hot slots, state-of-the-art sports book, beautiful poker room, and that collection of award-winning restaurants. Parks Casino, this is how you win. Pennsylvania's #1 casino. Tickets on sale now. Here they go. July 26th, the hilarious Joe Gatto from Impractical Jokers.
Oh, yeah. Love the show. Hey, I don't really.
You got nothing
I've never seen him do stand-up.
Okay.
They just do the skits every time. But he's funny. He's the crazy one. He'll do anything.
All right. July 3rd, Grammy-winning singer-songwriter Gary Clark Jr.
Go ahead. I'll follow your lead.
This Flat Top? Here, come on, Flat Top.
Yeah, sure. Come on, Flat Top.
Come together right now
over me. We harmonize all right sometimes.
Yeah, you do. You guys do. You two hams. Easter hams. Comedian
Perfect.
Ron White, March 20th.
Can't fix the Sixers.
The Motown sound of the Isley Brothers on April 11th.
This old heart of mine's been broke 1,000 times. Each time you break away.
The comedy duo of Chad Daniels, Kelsey Cook from the Pretend Problems podcast.
Two comedians for the price of one. Can't beat it.
For Gina Marone, psychic medium Matt Frazier on April 18th.
I'm feeling someone with a name that starts with M.
Joey's going to Japan.
End
of the month.
I know. It's it will blow his mind. It's one of the craziest places on earth.
The band live from Reading, from TV Toddland on April 21st.
Oh, now feel it coming back again.
Comedian Gary Owen, April 26th.
Don't know.
Larry the Cable Guy on May 16th.
Get her done.
Comedian Mark Norman, July 12th. Don't forget dinner and drinks before the show. Liberty Bell Gastropub, Beer Garden, right? Parks Grill Steakhouse, the Bamboo Noodle House, Chickies and Pete's. ParksCasino.com to buy tickets for all shows. Parks Casino. This is how you win. You got to be 21. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right.
Don't forget about Warrant. Saturday, April 5th. She's my cherry pie.
Oh, that's your spot. That's your, what is it?
She's my cherry.
No, I know. I've heard that before.
Warrant's playing April 5th at Parks.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
This portion of the program brought to you by Rite Aid, riteaid.com/PHLY for the store and pharmacy nearest you. All right, now joining us, like I said, every week we talk to him, the fabulous columnist for the Inquirer. We always go over the topical stories as one of the preeminent voices in print, our buddy Mike Sielski. But he's got a book, all right, and we're going to tell you about it. It's The Evolution of Basketball and much of the social cultural change in America can be traced to one powerful act on the court: the slam dunk. Drawing on deep reporting, dozens of interviews, players, coaches, and other hoop experts, Magic in the Air brings to life the tale of the dunk while balancing sharp socio-racial history and commentary with a romp through American sports and culture. There's never been a basketball book quite like it. Michael!
Yeah.
You're unmute. You're muted.
Of course I am. There we go. I'm unmuted. I'm sorry. I was having so much fun listening to VG in the 90s concert. There is nothing that takes me back more to the mid 90s than hearing live. That's great.
Mike, I'm so excited for the book. This is right up my alley. All right. You know, I love basketball. I love all sports. And the dunk is such it's like I can close my eyes and I could see them playing in the replay of my mind's eye, from Darrell Griffith, Dr. Duncanstein doing a 360 straight from Louisville, right? Like to Darrell Dawkins, and I brought this up, the Gusto dunk. Do you remember the Gusto dunk?
I don't remember the Gusto dunk.
Nobody remembers the Gusto dunk.
You know, I remember all the other names he had for all his other dunks, but not the Gusto dunk.
The Gusto dunk, the Sixers, they would do the whole thing before the Gusto dunk. Anyway, Dominique Wilkins, who was the human highlight film.
I was going to say, I got my power rankings. I was going to see we're on the scene. I have Jordan, Julius, and Dominique.
You know, VG, they might be my top three too. Right in that order. I think that's great.
I mean,
Larry Nance was a great dunker too.
Clyde was decent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the thing though, guys, is that all those guys are in the book, but I didn't want the book to be like 350 pages of YouTube highlights.
Right.
You know, I didn't want it to be like chapter 1, wasn't Dr. J awesome? Chapter 2, MJ was even better. Like, so, you know, there's a lot of different stuff throughout the book, but those guys are all in there. I got to talk to Dominique and to Julius for the research, and it was really cool. It was really cool.
So explain, because you're right. Like you talk about the dunk in a much deeper manner, right? Because if you know where the game was and how it was, you know, off the glass, layup, right? And then here comes this explosion, right, of the jam. And it's bigger than just a play. It's a statement. And you're right, it's socio-racial, it's it's got this whole, like, all these things about it.
Yeah, you're 100% right, Ant. Like, just as one example of how far basketball has come and how much of a role the dunk has in expanding the game. So there's a chapter in the book about a guy named Bob Kurland, okay? He's the guy credited with dunking the ball in a college basketball game for the first time. And it was, at the time he did it in the 40s, it's exactly like what you described. Like, you're supposed to go off the glass. You're not supposed to dunk the ball. It's ungentlemanly. And Kurland was this 6'10", redheaded dude playing in Oklahoma who was embarrassed of how tall he was. Like, people literally made fun of him because he was a tall redhead who dunked. Fast forward from that to David Thompson and Wilt and Bill Russell and Dr. J and Michael Jordan. And you can see how the sport has changed because of the influx of black players, because of the individuality and the flair and the improvisational nature of the sport and all of that. And that was the fun of doing the book. It's like, here's what basketball used to be, and everybody forgets about this. And here's now what basketball is or once was, and everybody had a blast with it.
You know what's funny is that the dunk has been overtaken by the three, right? Like, in this whole evolution of the game, the dunk, the TNT, I'm going to reverse it for a second. TNT has a great commercial with hockey. And they talk about back in my day, the backhand was cool. And I forget who was it. I don't know. It wasn't Gretzky. It was somebody else saying it. And it's funny. The dunk was cool. Like 80s, very cool. Like 70s into the 80s, 90s, cool. And it's not as cool as it used to be now.
Yeah, I don't think the sport, at least at the NBA level on the whole, is as cool as it used to be.
Yeah.
Because the dunk isn't as emphasized, because analytics has taken us to a place where the Boston Celtics are the reigning NBA champs and could win the title again. And it's just because they take and make more threes than any other team in the league. It's all analytics. The dunk was the symbol of, improvisation and dominance and spontaneity. And so much of that is gone from the sport now, right? Like, give me Kobe and AI shaking and baking on the perimeter and hitting an 18-foot fall away or a teardrop layup over a giant center, compared to like PJ Tucker standing in the corner shooting a three because it's the most efficient shot you're supposed to take. Like, I love the NBA, but I don't like what the NBA is now. And part of that is because the dunk was so cool in the 70s and the 80s when the NBA was on the rise, when it was trying to kind of get its foothold in American culture. So Doc and MJ and Neek and all these guys, use it and see it as a vehicle to grow the sport. I mean, go back to the 88 dunk contest, man. We all remember that when we were kids. Like, it's Michael against Dominique, and those guys treated it like it was Game 7 of the NBA Finals. It mattered because it was fun. It was stuff we hadn't seen before. And now I think there's a feeling of like, not only are all guys just shooting threes, like that's what teams want to do, we've seen everything when it comes to the dunk, right? It's harder to impress us.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess, with all of a sudden, the dunk contest going by the way, like it used to be, man, it was like, I couldn't wait for the dunk contest.
Yeah,
oh my God. And it was all the greats.
All the greats.
It was everybody, and then it got a little, campy, like when you had Spud.
It got corny.
Yeah.
It got corny. It got guys jumping over cars and Dwight Howard wearing a Superman cape.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why Mac McClung now, like, people are latching on to him, is he's the 6'2" white dude who's doing 360 and 540 spins, right? So it looks difficult and challenging, and we can't believe he's doing that. We've seen everything else from all the other bigger, more athletic players.
Yeah. I wonder why, because players are so much more athletic today that the dunk isn't as big. Like, it should be even bigger today.
I think it's because I think you're right about the players, Ant, and I think it's because we're reaching the point where, like I said earlier, like, it's hard to surprise us anymore. Like, look at Victor Wembanyama. He's awesome. I hope he comes back and plays for the Spurs. I hope he has an amazing career. But that kid is 7'3" and can run like the wind and has made the second most threes from beyond 24 feet of any player in the NBA this season. Like, it's almost like he makes it look too easy. And it's hard to impress, like, the casual viewer who looked at Michael Jordan and Dominique and Julius and were like, I've never seen that before. Now we've seen it. So what are you going to do? Do you have to raise the rim? You can expand the court? You're going to change the rules? You might have to think about it.
I don't like that.
I don't like it either, but they might have to think about it.
I mean, I would change the court. The only way I'd change the court is I'd change the three. I'd get rid of the corner three all day. That's done.
Yeah.
I would move the three back and get rid of the corner three, and then I'd go that route. But what also strikes me as a possibility is there's a lack of ferocity today. The one thing that was there in the 70s and 80s, or late 70s and 80s, at least I can speak to, is ferocity. There was a bit of anger. There was a bit of, I want to dominate you, right? Like we talk about dunking in somebody's face. And guys don't have that nastiness like they did.
No, Julius talked with me about this, about how his goal was to steal the crowd from when the Sixers were playing on the road. Like, he wanted to do something so spectacular that it just shut the crowd up and it shut the other team up. And I think the other thing that plays into this, and I think you're 100% right, is social media. When we think of like great dunks in games, we think of Julius over Michael Cooper in January of '83. You think of John Starks against the Bulls. You think of Michael dunking over Charles Smith in the 90s in the playoffs. What do they all have in common? There's a guy trying to defend and stop that dunk. And I think social media now plays into that lack of ferocity because guys don't want to become a meme. They don't want to be embarrassed. Everybody has seen Vince Carter dunk on Frederick Weiss, the Frenchman, from the 2000 Olympics, and they don't want to be Frederick Weiss because they don't want to be a meme. And I think that's in reality, like that's what's happening in the modern game.
You're right. Because I'm thinking dudes are like just softer, right? They're not as nasty.
I think that's part of it too. But I think the social media aspect of it is even bigger.
No, I think you're spot on. Like you're right about that. Like those guys go, listen, it's hard to block a dunk, right? Like you got a guy coming full force at you, to defend that. Now if you get him, you're the king, right?
Yeah.
Because the true king is not the dunker, but it's the blocker of the dunk, right?
It's funny you say that. In the first chapter of the book's entirely about Ja Morant. And the end of the chapter, I went to a Sixers-Grizzlies game a couple of years ago. And at the end of the game, Joel Embiid slid over late in the game and snuffed a Ja dunk.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like, it was the rare occasion where you see a player try to do that. And of course, like Embiid's 7 feet tall, Ja's, kind of spindly and smaller. So he has less to lose, I guess. He's got a better chance at least of blocking it. But you're right. Like, we don't see those moments anymore where it's like irresistible force and immovable object, like meeting at the rim and who's going to win.
Yeah.
They just don't happen.
Yeah. It's a shame because like, there's no shame in getting dunked on. Like, the advantage is always on the dunker because you're coming in with way more force than the guy standing, still and having to lunge up or toward him. It's way harder to block a dunk. It's a shame that
dude, it's beat getting dunked on. It stinks.
VG sounded like he's speaking from experience.
I've been dunked on by the Worley brothers. They
oh
play
man,
Frankfurt. Yeah, it's nothing exciting. It's horrible.
I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about like in the league. Like I get it. Like it sucks.
The crowds goes nuts.
I know it sucks. It does. Like listen, the ultimate mock, if you want to go that route, was Bill Robinzine. Right? Was when Darryl Dawkins busted the backboard and then wrote a rhyme about it. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
And he talked about, and the way he said it was
it's amazing.
Some glass flying, Robinson crying.
Yep.
Right? Like
absolutely.
Like, I get it. Like I understand.
And like and there's that's a thread throughout the whole book, guys. Is like all the like the threads and like themes of like masculinity and the racial component of it. Like go back to like 1966, right, when Texas Western played Kentucky in the Glory Road game. Don Haskins told one of his players, his biggest, tallest player, David Lattin, the first time you catch the ball in the post, I want you to dunk it on whatever Kentucky player is guarding you because it's going to intimidate the hell out of that short, white bunch of guys that Adolph Rupp has. And Lattin does it, and Texas Western rolls them, and then Adolph Rupp starts lobbying to have the dunk banned. And before you know it, the dunk is banned in college and high school basketball, basically because Adolph Rupp was upset that like a bunch of black guys were dunking on his team in the NCAA championship game. So like all that stuff plays out over sports and basketball for years and years and years. I got to talk to Ron Shelton about it, about White Men Can't Jump. That was one of the most fun parts about the book, was spending an hour on the phone with him talking about how he, wrote all that dialogue for Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson. It was tremendous.
That's crazy. What a small world. I have a call with him next week.
What?
Do you really? That's great.
Yes.
He's the man. He's great.
Yeah, actually, I have a call. We were talking about doing a college football project.
Ah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Tell him I said hello. He's the man.
I will. Yeah, I will. That's nuts. I can't believe you said that. Yeah, he's a great sports guy, man. Great. He really is. He's fantastic. I love this. I love the conversation, man. I love, because growing up, man, like, I was not a Marvel kid, right? I was not a comic book guy, right? I was a sports nerd. I got Sports Illustrated, Inside Sports, Sports Magazine, Basketball Digest, Football Digest, Baseball Digest, Hockey Digest, Gold Magazine. I can think about every.
Did you ever get the annual baseball encyclopedia?
I had it every year.
Dude, there was that one book that they would put out every year. The guy Xander Hollander. I forget. I don't know why I remember that name, but it would have a bio of every single player in Major League Baseball or in the NBA, and he would make like snide comments about all of them. It was awesome.
Yes. I mean, we loved it, right? So those dudes were my superheroes. Now you got guys that were tremendous athletes that were dunking the basketball. Like, you're like, wow, oh my God, that was awesome. Like, it was, flying through the air. That was the greatest.
Yeah, and that's what the fun part about the book was. And honestly, it was like going back and watching all these videos and then like digging into the stories of all these guys and like thinking about how dumb sports and the people who run sports can be. Like, how stupid do you have to have your hands on the levers of power in college basketball and to say that players like Lou Alcindor and David Thompson and Julius Erving can't dunk? Like, we're going to try to stop this. Like, it's so moronic.
It is moronic. You're right.
And they did it for 9 years. David Thompson, people still talk about him as being the greatest player in ACC
He was
history.
a 360 guy. He did the 360. I remember.
Exactly.
I remember the cover of Sports Illustrated where he's hanging on the rim backwards after doing it.
The dude pioneered the alley-oop, and he did it while not being able to dunk on an alley-oop in college. He would have to drop the ball through the hoop. And, so think about what he could have done if he could have dunked it. Like, it's crazy to think about. But you go back to that, and you think about, the wonder and the mystery of all that kind of stuff about how, I've heard, there's this guy playing for the New York Nets in the ABA named Julius Erving. I haven't seen him on TV, but I hear he can walk on air. That was actually a thing back in the early to mid 70s. If you weren't on Long Island, maybe you had never seen Dr. J play in his prime.
Rucker Park. Yeah.
Yeah. All of it. So it was so cool to be able to do all that and get into the history of it and all of it.
What a great book. This is
a great idea.
Awesome. All right. Amazon, you have a website. Can you buy direct from you?
Just Google it, man. Yeah, just Google it. It's on Amazon. I don't care where you get it from. Go to your local bookstore. Support your local businesses. Whatever. It's out there.
Are you doing any signings?
I got one coming up in your neck of the woods this Friday. I'm going to be Friday night from 7 to 8. I'm going to be at Inkwood Books in Haddonfield.
Okay.
So I'll be there from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, signing copies of the book. If you follow me on social media on Twitter, I got a public account on Facebook. I'll be putting stuff out all the time. But this Friday, 7, 8 o'clock, Haddonfield, Inkwood Books. I'll be there.
Oh, I love it. I'm so proud of you. You do such great work, and I love the concept. I can't wait to read it. I'm going to dive into it.
I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn if you read it, Ant. Just buy it, okay? I got mouths to feed. Set it on fire after you buy it, for all I care.
No, I mean, come on, man. We got to read this. This is what it's about. I mean, I love this stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm so
thanks, man.
I love it. You know how we feel about you, buddy. So
appreciate it. I got to get down there. I meant to do the studio thing today. I got to write a Joel Embiid column. I will get down there and we'll do this in person.
That sounds great. We'll talk to you next week, brother, during tournament time. We love
sounds
you.
Good fellas.
Luck. Thanks, pal.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
There he is, Mike Sielski. Terrific, man. That's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a fun idea.
Great idea. Yeah. Great idea. Oh, my God. Wow. The brain just texted me.
Uh-oh.
The brain hit a 40-1 parlay yesterday Warriors money line, Arkansas money line, and Raptors money line.
Wow, that's 40-1. Wow.
Yeah. That's unbelievable. He said VG was not, it was right on Auburn, but it's not in the parlay, though. That would have made it a lot.
Yeah.
He likes, just so you know, he likes Michigan.
All right.
All right. He likes the Nuggets over the Kings.
Okay.
He likes Derek White under 5.5 assists and Jokic over 9.5 assists.
You gotta respect Bray's dedication. He's not doing well. He's getting an epidural procedure done, and he still wants to get his picks in for the people.
He does. He does it all.
Respect it.
It is respected. All right, time out for the Rite Aid back in the day moment. Back.
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day with Rite Aid. Yeah.
What we got?
2006.
Oh, I
No?
have the other one that you just sent me.
Oh, what did I just say?
The one that was the rhyme
Oh,
with the
we can
shadow.
do that. All
Yeah, I
right.
thought it was fitting.
All right. Audible.
Audible.
The Robinson dunk.
Oh! Do it.
All right.
This is Chocolate Thunder. Daryl Dawkins.
Put too much power behind a dunk shot.
I remember when I first
My God, look at that.
said I wanted to break it back, but
I remember watching. I was a
Everybody looked at
little
me like,
boy
"He's gotta
in
be
my
crazy."
room on a
So when
12-inch
it
black
actually
and white
fell,
television.
everybody was like,
Watching that.
He
Shattering.
just did. He just tore that thing. The glass was just flying everywhere.
Please.
Philadelphia's Daryl Dawkins put too much power behind a dunk shot.
Boom. Glass flying, Robinson crying. What's the matter?
I thought I had the full name of it ready to go.
I am Jam.
Yeah, it ended with I am Jam.
I am Jam. Yeah. He was the greatest. Dawkins was. One day we got to do a whole Dawkins thing, which you tell that story. That's great stuff.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for us.
Oh, we got who has a breaking news. Oh, a friend of the show, Alex Coffey, released. She's down in Clearwater. They have a nickname for Rincones. Is that his name? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
They're calling him. Schwerber nicknamed him Uncle Rico.
Uncle Rico.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Uncle Rico. How do you? That's great. Uncle Rico. I like Uncle
I
Rico.
like Uncle Rico.
Yeah. Schwarber's terrific, by the way.
He is. I don't
Yeah.
know what they do with him.
Yeah, I know. All right. A lot of fun, as always. Appreciate it. Great job, Frazier. Great job, Joey. Have a great day, everybody. We love you. We'll see you in the morning.
We all silly like the mayor.